Have you ever been sitting in your favorite chair, maybe reading or watching a program, and you go to stand up only to feel that familiar, heavy, almost numb feeling in your legs? Or perhaps you've noticed that your feet are colder than they used to be, even when you're wearing socks. It's a feeling that many of us just accept as a normal part of getting older. We tell ourselves, well, I'm not as young as I used to be, and we learn to live with it. But what if I told you that it's not always just age catching up with you? Often, that heavy, achy, or cold feeling comes down to one simple thing: how well your blood is flowing through the vessels in your legs. You see, when those blood vessels start to narrow or become a little stiff, it can change everything. It can change how you move, how you feel throughout the day, and even how you sleep at night. Now, most people think the only way to deal with something like poor circulation is through prescription medication, or maybe even surgery. And while those can be important tools, here's something that isn't talked about nearly enough. Certain vitamins, taken daily and in the right amounts, can actually help support those blood vessels, encourage them to relax and open up, and help bring warmth and life back into your legs. And the best part? These aren't some exotic, impossible-to-find potions. They are simple, everyday vitamins that you might already have in your kitchen cupboard or can easily pick up at your local store. Today, we're going to have a conversation about 5 specific vitamins that can make a real, noticeable difference in keeping the blood vessels in your legs open and healthy. You may have heard of some of them, but I promise, the way they work and why they matter so much specifically for your legs might just surprise you. Now, let's start with a vitamin that you probably associate with strong bones and sunshine, but its role for your circulation is absolutely vital. Let's talk about vitamin D. We all know it as the sunshine vitamin, and we're often told to take it for our bone health, but its job description is so much bigger than that. For the blood vessels in your legs, vitamin D acts like a silent behind-the-scenes manager, ensuring everything stays relaxed and flexible. Think of your blood vessels like tiny muscles. They need to be able to contract and expand to control the flow of blood. Vitamin D helps balance the calcium in your bloodstream, which is a key mineral that those vessel muscles need to work properly. When you have enough vitamin D, it allows your vessels to widen beautifully when they need to, creating a nice open highway for blood to travel down to your toes and back again. Without enough of it, though, those same vessels can become stiff and tight, like a garden hose that's been left out in the sun too long. This makes it much harder for your legs to get the oxygen and nutrients they desperately need, which is often when we start to feel those cramps, that heaviness, or that persistent chill. For us seniors, low vitamin D is incredibly common. As we age, our skin just doesn't produce it from sunlight as efficiently as it once did. Plus, many of us spend more time indoors than we used to. When you combine that with the fact that very few foods naturally contain significant amounts of vitamin D, it's a perfect storm for a deficiency. This shortage doesn't just affect your bones, it can directly contribute to that poor circulation and slow healing we all want to avoid. The good news is, it's a relatively simple thing to address. Adding more vitamin D-rich foods to your meals can be a great start. Think of fatty fish like salmon or mackerel, a glass of fortified milk, or a couple of eggs. For many of us, especially in the winter months, a daily supplement can be a safe and effective way to ensure we're getting enough. It's always wise to chat with your doctor to find the right amount for you, but think of it as giving your blood vessels a gentle daily tune-up to keep them supple and responsive. I remember a gentleman named George who wrote to me. He was 72 and had been struggling with constant, painful cramping in his calves, especially at night. He was convinced it was an unavoidable penalty of his age. But after a routine checkup and a simple blood test, His doctor discovered George's vitamin D levels were dangerously low. He started on a supplement and made a point to enjoy his morning coffee out on the patio for just 15 minutes. It didn't happen overnight, but after a few weeks, George began to notice his legs felt lighter. The cramps became less frequent, and he even said his feet felt warmer in bed at night. His blood flow had improved, and with it, his daily comfort. Keeping your vitamin D levels up isn't about trying to turn back the clock. It's about giving your body the fundamental tools it needs to keep you moving, to keep you walking confidently, and to protect the independence you've spent a lifetime building. When your legs feel strong and warm, it genuinely changes your outlook on the day. And for many of us, that small daily dose of vitamin D can make all the difference. Now, we've covered two powerful vitamins that lay the groundwork for healthy circulation. But there's another crucial player, one that acts less like a builder and more like a shield, protecting your hardworking blood vessels from damage every single day. That's where we're going to pick things up next, because understanding how this protector works could be the key to keeping your legs feeling light and energetic for years to come. If what we've talked about so far is making sense, if it's clicking with how you've been feeling, I'd love to hear from you. Please take a second and comment below with the word circulation. It really helps me know what matters to you. And if you haven't yet, do consider subscribing and tapping that bell. It's the best way to make sure you don't miss what comes next. Thank you for watching.
Now, we've talked about how vitamin D acts as a manager for your blood vessels, and how vitamin C is the master builder, repairing and maintaining the walls. But as we all know, even the strongest, most well-managed structures need protection from the wear and tear of everyday life. That's where our next essential nutrient comes in. Think of it as the loyal shield, the guardian that stands watch over your circulatory system. I'm talking about vitamin E. This vitamin acts like a dedicated bodyguard for your blood vessels, protecting them from damage caused by unstable molecules known as free radicals. You can think of free radicals like little bits of rust or corrosion. They occur naturally as our bodies process food and energy, but over time, they can bounce around and cause damage to our cells, including the delicate cells that line our vessel walls. This damage can weaken the walls and make it easier for plaque to start forming, which narrows those crucial passageways for blood. When the circulation in your legs slows down because vessels are getting narrowed or damaged, that's when you might feel that overwhelming heaviness, those frustrating cramps, or a deep fatigue even after what should be an easy, short walk. Vitamin E helps prevent this by neutralizing those free radicals, keeping your vessel walls smooth, flexible, and healthy. This allows your blood to move more freely, delivering oxygen and nutrients without so much resistance. Many of us, without even realizing it, might be getting less vitamin E than our bodies truly need. It's a little different from the others because it's fat-soluble, meaning it's found in foods that contain healthy fats. If our diets become too lean or we shy away from these kinds of foods, we can easily fall short. Without enough of this protective shield, our blood can become slightly more prone to clotting, and our vessels can lose that youthful elasticity we want to maintain. That's why making sure you have enough vitamin E is so important for keeping the blood flowing smoothly all the way down to your toes. So where do you find this fantastic guardian? In some of the most enjoyable foods. Almonds, sunflower seeds, and spinach are all packed with vitamin E. One of my personal favorites is the avocado. It's not only delicious, but incredibly rich in this nutrient. The beautiful thing is, you don't need to eat a huge amount. Even a small handful of almonds as an afternoon snack a few times a week can make a noticeable difference over time. Another incredibly easy way to work vitamin E into your meals is with a good quality olive oil. A simple drizzle over your cooked vegetables or a light splash on a salad doesn't just add flavor, it turns an ordinary meal into a powerful, leg-friendly boost for your circulation. I recall a gentleman named Robert who wrote in. He was 75 and had been struggling with occasional but painful leg cramps that would wake him up in the middle of the night. It was disrupting his sleep and leaving him tired during the day. His doctor, before jumping to any medication, asked him about his diet and suggested he try incorporating more vitamin E-rich foods. Robert was skeptical that something so simple could help, but he decided to give it a try. He started keeping a small container of almonds by his chair and made a conscious effort to use olive oil for his cooking instead of his usual vegetable oil. It wasn't an instant miracle, but after a few consistent months, he noticed a profound change. Those nighttime cramps became a rare occurrence instead of a regular event. Even better, his morning walks around the neighborhood started to feel easier. His legs didn't feel as leaden as they used to. That's the quiet, powerful result of giving your body the protective nutrients it needs to thrive from within. Now, if vitamin E is the shield, then our next vitamin is the wise traffic director, the one that makes sure everything ends up in the right place. This is one that very few people talk about, but it might be one of the most critical for preventing a specific and common problem as we age. I'm referring to vitamin K2. Most people have heard of vitamin K in the context of blood clotting. That's primarily vitamin K1. But vitamin K2 has a completely different and fascinating job. Its primary role is to act as a guide for calcium in your body. We need calcium, of course, but we need it in our bones, not stuck in the soft tissues of our arteries. Vitamin K2 activates proteins whose sole job is to grab calcium from your bloodstream and usher it directly into your bones, where it belongs. What happens when we don't have enough of this clever traffic director? The calcium in our blood can start to settle in the wrong places, specifically in the walls of our arteries, including those in our legs. This process is called calcification, and it's like what happens to an old, neglected water pipe. It becomes hard, brittle, and narrow. When your leg arteries become stiff and calcified, they can't flex and expand to let blood through. This severely restricts blood flow, making it incredibly hard for your hard-working leg muscles to get the oxygen they need. This often leads to significant discomfort, swelling, and that unbearably heavy feeling after you've been standing or walking for just a little while. Vitamin K2 helps make sure calcium stays out of your arteries and goes into your bones, keeping those vascular passageways flexible and wide open for business. Good sources of vitamin K2 aren't as common in the standard Western diet, which is why a deficiency is more widespread than you might think. You'll find it in fermented foods. The richest source is a Japanese food called natto, which is made from fermented soybeans. Now, natto has a very strong flavor and texture that isn't for everyone, so don't worry if that doesn't appeal to you. Other excellent sources include certain aged cheeses like Gouda or Brie, and egg yolks from chickens that are pasture-raised. For many of us, these just aren't foods we eat every single day. So being mindful to add them in even occasionally can be a genuine game changer for your long-term circulation health. A wonderful woman named Linda shared her story with me. She was 70, very active, and ate what she thought was a very balanced and healthy diet. During a routine checkup, however, a scan showed some early signs of calcification in the arteries in her legs. She was surprised and concerned. Her doctor explained the role of vitamin K2, a nutrient she'd never even heard of. Linda decided to get creative. She began adding a small slice of aged Gouda cheese to her lunch sandwich and found a local brand of eggs from free-range chickens. She even tried a little bit of sauerkraut with her dinner a few times a week. She continued this for about 6 months, and at her next follow-up appointment, her doctor was pleased to see that the calcification had not progressed and had even improved slightly. But more importantly for Linda, she felt the difference. Her legs felt less tired and achy at the end of a long day spent gardening, her favorite hobby. It was a powerful reminder that sometimes the most impactful changes come from learning about the hidden, unsung heroes of our nutrition. We've covered 4 powerful vitamins so far, each with a unique and crucial job in supporting the health of your blood vessels, but there is one more to discuss, a vitamin that works like a master key, directly signaling your blood vessels to relax and open up, allowing for that nourishing, warming flow of blood. This final piece of the puzzle is what we'll dive into next. and it's a fascinating one. If you're finding this helpful, if it's connecting the dots on how you've been feeling, please let me know by commenting "helpful" below. It means the world to know this information is reaching the people who need it. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe and hit that bell icon. It's the best way to make sure you're here for the final part, where we'll bring it all together. Thank you for your time.
So far, we've walked through 4 incredible vitamins, each with a special role: the manager, the builder, the shield, and the traffic director. They all work behind the scenes to create the ideal environment for healthy blood flow. But what if you could give your body a direct, immediate signal, a gentle nudge that tells those blood vessels right now to relax, to open up, and to let life-giving blood flow through freely? That's exactly what our 5th and final vitamin does. It's the master key, the one that communicates directly with your circulatory system. This brings us to vitamin B3, also known as niacin. Now, niacin might not always get the spotlight when people talk about heart health or circulation, but it possesses a truly unique ability. It works by stimulating your body's production of a miraculous little compound called nitric oxide. Think of nitric oxide as a chemical messenger. Its sole job is to travel to the smooth muscles in the walls of your blood vessels and tell them to relax. When those muscles relax, the vessel itself widens, a process called vasodilation. This widening is like adding an extra lane to a congested highway. It dramatically improves the flow of blood all the way down to your legs and feet. This is so important for us because, as we know, our blood vessels can naturally become less flexible and more resistant with age. When the vessels in your legs are open and responsive, you're far less likely to experience that dull, persistent ache after a short walk, or that frustrating pins and needles sensation that comes from blood struggling to get where it needs to go. Some people even notice a gentle, warm flushing sensation in their skin shortly after taking niacin. That's a direct sign that your blood vessels are hearing the message and opening up. Over time, better circulation from improved blood flow means more than just comfort. It can lead to healthier skin on your legs, faster healing of those small nicks and scrapes we sometimes get, and less swelling around the ankles at the end of the day. You can find niacin in a wonderful variety of everyday, delicious foods. It's abundant in poultry like turkey and chicken, in tuna and other fish, and in peanuts. If you prefer plant-based options, whole grains like brown rice and barley, along with legumes like lentils and beans, are also excellent sources. Some doctors may recommend a supplement if a blood test shows a significant deficiency, but it's always best to start with food sources first and see how you feel. One thing to be aware of is that taking a high-dose niacin supplement on an empty stomach can cause a more intense flushing effect, that warm, red, tingly feeling on the skin. For many, this is harmless and fades within an hour, but it can be uncomfortable. This is why getting it from food is such a gentle and effective approach, because the other components in the food help mitigate that reaction. I remember a story from a man named Harold. He was in his late 70s and had gradually given up his daily walks because his legs would feel so heavy and sore afterwards, as if he'd run a marathon instead of just strolling to the end of the street. His doctor, after ruling out other serious issues, asked about his diet. It turned out Harold often skipped breakfast and had a fairly limited selection of foods for lunch. His doctor suggested he try incorporating more niacin-rich foods into his day. Harold didn't do anything drastic. He started having a slice of whole grain toast with a tablespoon of peanut butter for breakfast. For lunch, he'd often have a small can of tuna mixed into a salad or leftover roast chicken. They were small, simple changes. But within a few months, Harold noticed a significant shift. He wasn't just able to walk further without that heavy feeling, he also realized his feet didn't feel like blocks of ice in the evening anymore. That small dietary shift gave him back a piece of his confidence and his independence, and that is truly priceless. And there you have them, all 5 powerful vitamins working in harmony. Vitamin D, the manager. Vitamin C, the builder, vitamin E, the shield, vitamin K2, the traffic director, and vitamin B3, niacin, the master key. Together, they form a complete nutritional strategy to support the health and flexibility of the blood vessels in your legs. Keeping the blood vessels in your legs open and healthy isn't just about avoiding discomfort or cold feet. It's about something so much bigger. It's about protecting your mobility. It's about safeguarding your independence. It's about preserving your quality of life, your ability to work in your garden, to play with your grandchildren, to simply get up and go without a second thought. These vitamins we've talked about aren't magic bullets, but they are powerful, proven allies. They work best when they're a part of a lifestyle that includes balanced meals, gentle regular movement like walking or stretching, and a mindful approach to taking care of yourself. As we get older, it's the easiest thing in the world to accept that slowing down is just inevitable, to write off that ache or that chill as just another part of aging. But so often it's not. So often it's our body asking for a specific nutrient it's missing. I've heard from so many people in their 70s, 80s, and even 90s who thought their days of feeling light on their feet were long behind them. But once they learned that something as simple and natural as focusing on the right vitamins could make a difference, everything changed. Their energy slowly returned. Their balance improved. Their confidence grew. This isn't about chasing youth. It's about embracing the years you have and living them as much strength, comfort, and joy as possible. So I want to encourage you to take what you've learned here today and have a conversation. Talk with your doctor about your circulation. Look over your diet and see where you might be able to add a handful of almonds, an extra piece of fruit, a slice of cheese, or a serving of fish. Find the simplest, most enjoyable way to work these vitamins into your daily routine. The results might just surprise you, and the benefits, the feeling of warm, comfortable, reliable legs, could truly last for years to come. Thank you so much for joining me for this important conversation. I'd love to hear from you now. Please leave a comment below and share just one thing you learned today or one small change you think you might try. Your thoughts and experiences are so important, not just to me, but to everyone else in our community here. Reading your comments gives us the motivation and encouragement to keep creating content that matters. If this video brought you value and you feel it could help someone you care about, please pay it forward. Give it a like, share it with a friend or family member, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Your support is what allows us to keep making these videos to inform and inspire you. Thank you for your time, for your attention, and for investing in your health. Here's to your strength, your vitality, and to many more comfortable steps ahead. Stay blessed, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.